hot mama. Does menopause stop you from starting a business, do you think? My guest today says nope. It's a new awakening. Welcome, 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 welcome to Crazy Sexy Menopause. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you don't know me, my name is BETTE VARGAS, and I create content around menopause that will educate peri, and postmenopausal women on how to live life more vibrantly through better applications of my 3 keys of mindset, meals, and movement. Today, my guest is Katherine Maldonado. Katherine is a talented bag maker with a real passion for creating unique and functional pieces. With over 7 years of experience in the industry, she has honed her skills and has patterns tested for several well-known designers. She started her first solopreneur business, Perseverance, P-U-R-S-E, capitalized, in 2019 to support the need for handcrafted, unique handbags. I love that name. She is often called upon to mentor those who want to know more and more about bag making, as well as how to market their small business. In 2021, Katherine decided to share her love of bag making with other future creatives, and Sew Your Bag LLC was born. Through her business, she has been able to spread and provide support to future bag makers. She can be found on Instagram, where she posts about bag making and motivation. Welcome, 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 Katherine. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's get right into it. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Betty, for asking me to do this. I'm a little bit shaky. I'm normally not the face.
Don't
So
be. I
bear with
know. I
me.
know. I've seen your work, and you're the hands-on, literally hands-on maker. So don't be nervous. And I thank you so much for showing up today. And we've had some absolutely wonderful conversations, and I'm really grateful for you to share today. And so let's just get started. What Where are you? First of all, where are you in your menopause journey?
Oh my goodness. Some days it feels like I'm at the beginning. Some days it feels like I'm in the middle. And some days I feel like I'm just stomped all over at the end.
Mm,
I'm somewhere I'm sorry, my cat is coming in. I'm
no
somewhere
worries.
in the middle of my journey. And I always say, like, you sort of have to take it one day at a time. Um,
Hmm.
and you and I had talked previously, and I said, once I hit half a century, it was just like, okay, now what do I do, right? So,
Right. And people are like, half a century? What? But
so
it's
massive, right?
true. It's true.
I figured if I was royalty, I would get some kind of like accolades for half a century, right?
For real.
So, yeah, so like I'm approaching 60, and when I hit half a century, I sort of said, "Hey, what are you going to do now? What's next for you on your journey?" And that's kind of, where I was starting to see the signs and symptoms of menopause, right?
Oh,
So I was already in it, but I wasn't quite there yet.
hmm.
And so now I'm 10 years out, be 60 this year, and I'm starting to really see the full effects of what it means to be in menopause.
Yeah. So now you started at 50? Were you around 50, or did you start perimenopause before then?
I probably started before then, but I had no signs and symptoms, right? So
Gotcha.
at 50 was actually when I started feeling like almost like, pieces started falling off, things started happening.
Mm.
And we talk about, you and I have spoken before about the fact that like there's more doctor's appointments. Um,
Girl, I've been to more doctors since menopause than I've ever been in my life. It's
Exactly. And you think it's
crazy.
you. You think it's you, but it's not a health concern, right? It's
Right,
just you
right.
start having symptoms and you're like, "Oh, let me go to the doctor and find out what that is."
Yeah, yeah.
And that's really, yeah,
But
me and my
it
husband are like
and
this.
yeah, and it's more important for us to be, to go to the doctor and make sure that it's nothing else, because menopause mimics so many other diseases. So it's really crazy that you got to go make sure that it's not something else, and it's not just menopause, but that it is menopause. So, what have been some of your challenges in menopause?
Yeah, so I have no history of diabetes, but I'm now
Mm-hmm.
pre-diabetic. But I understand also part of that is due to my weight, which is something that I
Mm.
can control, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's due to exercise. But because I started a business, it's like, how do I fit all these pieces in, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, trying to be able to focus on my health and then, also trying to run a business that says, oh, you want sleep? You need sleep? Absolutely not. You need to relax? Absolutely not. So it's just finding that nice balance. I'm not totally over in the diabetic realm. I'm like half a foot in. So I'm just like one pill a day kind of diabetic, but it's enough to concern me, right? Especially because I have no history of it. And like you mentioned, it could, what's happening with me can be something other than just menopause. So it's
Mm-hmm.
more than just the annual checkup for the vitals that we all, as women, we need to have. It's now being concerned about these other things. I also have aches and pains, right?
What
Some of it
kind?
like now my joints pop. I'm like, what is that? I got up in the morning and something went crick. And I'm like, what is that? And should I be concerned? So, I'm like the Tin Man. Some days I'm like, slide some oil to me kind of person. And other days I just hit the ground running. So,
I
we
was
one day at a time.
I was feeling that way too a little bit, but when I started moving, I just did not, I didn't claim it. And so when I started moving, then those little creaks and aches and pains went away, and so I was like, oh, okay, so this is what I got to do for the rest of my life.
Just keep moving. Don't stop. Keep moving.
No, 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 you can't stop. So you have the best sense of humor. So how do you manage to stay motivated as you navigate through menopause?
So, part of it is starting a business, right? The other
Mm-hmm.
part is realizing that menopause is not the end. It's just that it's a pause, right? It's a time to
Yeah.
on where you want to go next. I did have my daughter later on in life. So I had my daughter when I was 35. And so I was like, okay, I'm ready to have a child. I have a child, and the next 21 years are going to be dedicated to her. Well, 21 years later, I'm still vibrant. So just
Mm-hmm.
because menopause hit doesn't mean you're not vibrant anymore. And I just felt like, is this what I have to look forward to? Like, now what do I need to do? I didn't plan past, I planned on, okay, well, I'm gonna wait and retire after she's, 21. It didn't happen that way. It was like,
No.
okay, now what do I do? Where can I go with this? I got all this energy left. I got so much vibrancy. So that's how I'm navigating it. I stay busy like you do. You said you keep moving. Um,
Yes.
I have a daytime job also, which also keeps me moving. I have 3 dogs, 2 cats, 2 turtles, a bird that you may hear in the background. So all these things give me a reason to get up in the morning.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, the from what I understand, the dogs always do that because unlike cats that have their own little litter box, you have to go out and walk the dog and do whatever dogs do out there. So yeah, that would be something that would keep you going, keep you up and moving.
You can't just sit around, you
And
know.
how old is your daughter now?
So my daughter, oh my goodness, I'm dating. It's so interesting. I know how old I am based on her, and she knows how old she is based on me. So my daughter will be 25 this year.
Oh, how nice. How nice. So, have you thought about telling her about menopause and your experience so she can be prepared?
So I try to tell her, but for some reason, my daughter doesn't see me as like a grandmother age. She sees me as a mommy age. So she says to me, "Mommy, you're a mommy age. You're not a grandmother age." And for her, menopause is about being a grandmother, right? And I'm like, "No, it's not about that. It's a physical thing that happens." So we have discussions about like there's
Hmm.
things I don't do as easily anymore. Part of it is because of menopause. Part of it is, and the way it makes me feel, and changes in my body and what that means. So we do have open conversations about that.
Oh, that's amazing. It's beautiful too because she's 25 and most 25-year-olds that I've chatted with are some even in their 30s don't really, they're not concerned at all about menopause and don't even mention the name, but what is but it's vitally important for women to know about menopause because I don't want to say it sneaks up on you, but it sneaks up on you, and so the time to research it and find out more about it is not when you're in it. It's definitely in the beginning prior to when you're premenopause, actually, so that you can be prepared for perimenopause.
Well, and my mother and my grandmother never talked about it.
Really?
They never spoke about it. Like it wasn't a thing. It was just like this is you're gonna get old. Period. You're gonna get old. It's gonna stop happening, and that's how you know you're old. Um,
Yeah,
so I think each generation knows, and there's more information now out there as well, right?
right.
My conversations are easier with my daughter because she's in fitness. So
Hmm. Hmm.
and she's in theater, right? She's a musical theater person. So she knows about, her body, how she feels, what's going on. So she is probably a little bit more receptive than her peers who are not doing the same thing.
Oh, that's great. That's really great. And you know what? Because she is enlightened, she can probably talk to them more about it as well. And that's great. And I was I
My eyes
had
are
this
teary.
oh, okay. I have this surprised look on my face when you said your mother and your grandmother hadn't talked about it. But that's pretty much been the norm. It's a shocker for me because I thought I was missing out on something since my mom passed when before I was even, I mean, I had just gotten into puberty. And so I thought I was missing out on something, but many of the women that I speak to have not had that experience at all. They've not had any conversation at all with mothers, aunts, cousins, friends, or anyone. So, Did you have any friends that you spoke with about menopause?
So it's interesting because most of the people that I work with are younger
Mm-hmm.
than me, right?
Ah.
So and so they've always been either my age, and then as I got older, they've always been younger than me because of the industry that I'm in, what I do in the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a tech person. I graduated from college when they were like punch cards and things like that. But
Ah,
they
me
just got
too.
so I'm a computer science major. However, they've just gotten younger and younger and younger, and I've stayed. So I'm like the senior person. So it's hard to talk to a younger generation about menopause, and especially because they're facing so many different life challenges. Like they're starting a family, they're trying, so they look at me more as a like the old sage of the north and tell me how to raise my children kind of. And I'm like, I don't know. Like they're more concerned about how do they push these human beings out into the world, and so it's a little bit different. Talking, that's usually my circle, and then because of my hobbies have always been with women who are older.
Okay.
So I felt a little bit uncomfortable going, hey, this menopause thing, could you tell me a little about it? Because not everybody wants to talk about it, right? It's like
Right.
it's a rite of passage. You're gonna go
Mm-hmm.
through it and you're gonna figure it out. And they don't want to talk about it. Either they're in denial for themselves or they just feel like, you know, you'll get it. It'll be fine. And it's not. It's definitely something that I think, like you said, understanding it before you're there is so important. And navigating through it. There's also, for me, there's all these emotions. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
emotional person, but now I'm on steroids with the emotions.
Yes.
And so it's
Yes.
it's getting through that as well. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things, and I don't really have a resource that I
Mm-hmm.
could, like a resource like a friend of mine who's going through the same thing because of the age difference,
Mm-hmm.
and them understanding what's happening.
Yeah, yeah. I know you said that you have your sewing as well. It's no longer a hobby now. But how has sewing helped you manage menopause?
So I'm in my sewing room. This is my space. I close the door and try to lock the cat out, but
And
um,
it's a beautiful space.
there are good days and bad days in here. Believe me, there's some days it's very cloudy, and I'm like, turn up the lights. But it sewing has helped me so much because it helps me to get out of my head. It's a
Mm-hmm.
relaxing time for me. So everybody knows when my daughter was living at home, I would close the door, and she knows don't come in. I don't care if that you have to, the fire trucks have to be outside, and I have to hear the sirens for you to come in here, and or you have to be bleeding. Those are the two requirements. Other than that, call 911. I can't help you. But, but it's gonna be
That's to say you are a little bit focused.
but the relaxation portion of it means, like some people get massages. I would come in here, it's the hum of the sewing machine, right? I
Mm,
knew, that as soon as I sat down to sew and all the pieces were cut out, I would relax.
I
Tension would
love
leave
that.
my body, right?
Mm-hmm.
It also helped me as a creative. So I knew that I could focus in on creating something, whether it was of my own design or somebody else's. It also helped me when it came to building skills, right? So I'm a
Mm-hmm.
handsy kind of person. I love any kind of handwork. And, each step I was learning something which helped my mind, right? So
Mm-hmm.
of it, like, why do they do that? How do they do that? Can I figure out a shorter way to do that? So I was constantly exercising my mind as well. So it was liberating for me to be able to,
Yeah.
and even today, even though it's a business, um, designing patterns is just a different way that I've come in and taken my creativity. And I still have to sew the bag. I still have to sew it. So I get it in there somehow.
And that's even more important because as we age, even aside from menopause, as we age, we do need to start keeping our minds busy and keeping our minds fresh and thinking in terms of creatively and how to strengthen those synapses in our brain to keep us from possibly having dementia as we age. And so that's really important. And it's not something that you can do just a version of something that you already do. It has to be something absolutely brand new. So, with that in mind, and we're talking about your business now, why did you decide to start a business?
Well, the second business.
Ah, okay, okay. Let's start from the beginning.
We can start right here in the beginning.
Where's
It's okay.
this? Let me spill the tea. I'm waiting.
Well, very shortly, the first business happened by accident, right? So it
Okay.
happened by accident. I had more bags than I could use.
Whoa. Okay. Okay.
So, and as my skills got better, I had designers recognize me and say, "Hey, would you test for me?" And I'm like, "Sure." So now that's another bag that I maybe wouldn't have sewn, except I had to sew it for the designer.
Now, what
So
does that mean? Would you test for me? What exactly does that mean?
so what happens is when a bag comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before it comes out, and it's designed, the designer then asks a group of people and they say, I'm going to send you this pattern as a bag maker. It's the same thing with garments. I need you to read through the pattern and let me know if there are any mistakes. They could be something simple as a typo. It could be something where something wasn't explained the way that they felt it should be explained based on the level of the pattern, right? So a beginner pattern, you may have to mention something 15 times, or you may maybe don't use acronyms, spell everything out, right? An intermediate pattern,
Ah,
right?
okay.
So it's about it's about that conversation in the pattern that helps
Mm-hmm.
the person, the consumer at the end, be able to make whatever that thing is that you're selling to them.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, and that's with like, well, that's with recipes of any sort. And I know when I was a book editor, or well, book proofreader actually, that it basically is the same thing. It's a process of making sure that this is perfectly correct and coherent and concise before it hits the market. Oh, I did not know that. What? You learn
And as
something new every day.
And as a proofreader, there's a voice, right? So the person
Right.
who's writing the pattern, you want to make sure that, like, I want to make sure when I'm writing a pattern that it's in my voice, because
Mm-hmm.
every pattern that the person buys after that, they're going to look for that voice, whether they know it or not, right? It's the way that they're being taught. I have challenges with garment patterns because they're very sketchy to me. Not sketchy in like, suspect, but
Mm-hmm.
sketchy in there's not enough detail for somebody who has never made a garment. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I look at a little, a piece of paper that's, I don't know, however long it is for a pattern, and it's one sheet of double-sided paper versus a 32-page pattern that I may write that has pictures, actual pictures, not diagrams, to me, that's the way that I like to learn. And I find that
Mm-hmm.
that's the way most people like to learn. Now, some people do diagrams, but they need more detail. They need more words, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. That really does make sense because there are different ways that people learn, and some people learn by reading, some people learn by seeing, some people learn by hearing, and so we do. I think makers of all kinds, of all sorts, need to keep that in mind in terms of how people learn, because that could be the make or break piece whether someone decides to purchase your product. But this is really interesting. I'm learning so much more about bag making. Oh my gosh.
Maybe more than you want to know.
Yeah. What? No, actually,
But
no,
maybe
because
maybe
I'm crafty. I'm crafty, so I like this sort of thing. But okay, so getting back to you when you're starting that first business. Now, was this the Perseverance?
correct. So
Okay.
perseverance, I started, and the name of it was because I felt like when women carried my handbag and I put labels on it that said perseverance, I wanted them
Mm-hmm.
to know that no matter what they were going through, they could make it through it, right? That
Oh.
they weren't stuck. You're not stuck. You'll make it through it. And your progress of making it through it is totally different than somebody else's, right? So that's why I called it perseverance. It was a kind of like a play on words, right? And I love that business. I love that business so much. And then I actually had somebody who asked me to mentor them on bag making, and I started mentoring her, and she fell ill. And we sort of lost touch. I reached out to her, but I knew she was ill. She wasn't just slightly ill, she was very ill. And so
Mm.
I stopped mentoring her. But through that experience, I learned that I could leave a legacy in some way, right?
Mm.
And because I love handcrafts, I didn't have somebody to teach me bag making, right? I learned everything over YouTube and then through my own experimenting, trying people's patterns and learning and navigating on my own. I decided I wanted to be that mentor for other people who wanted to learn bag making. And the interesting thing about it is when you're a beginner,
Mm-hmm.
I felt, this is how I felt. I felt like I was alone.
Yeah.
Once I
Yeah.
got better at it and people started saying, "Oh, hey, look at this person over here," I had got plenty of attention,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what I do now, which is sew your bag, is geared towards beginner or aspiring bag makers. So whether this is your 50th bag or your first bag, it's about me giving you information to help you, if not love, like what you do. So, at the end of everything, I always write, "Be bold and make a bag you'll love, and sew a bag you'll love." Right?
Ooh!
So,
What?
in other words, when you
I
buy a bag, you're gonna
love it.
do something and be bold and make a bag, and feel accomplished. But it's about me leaving a legacy for future bag makers and encouraging people to take up bag making, who are beginners and don't have the support. They don't have the grandma.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right, right. Yeah, because the grandmas, what do? They teach you how to crochet and to sew and to, knit, all of these crafty things. And because families are so spread apart now, or the grandparent may be deceased, there's not that person there to help you help you through that rites of passage.
Correct. And so, from my perspective, I supply those people not only with
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, I give them all the material they need to make a bag. So the other thing I found, and when I was a beginner bag maker, I would buy all the things because that's what other people who made bags did. And
Mm-hmm.
over time, I realized you don't need all the things to make a bag, right? So
Mm-hmm.
to help anybody, I put everything they need to make a bag in a box,
Yeah.
and it's a subscription, they get it, and they don't have to go to the store.
Now
So
and that's for me, because if I'm if I see something that I like, I go all out and I buy everything. Whatever somebody says, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that. I just buy that and then some. And so
guilty.
So I love that you like, nope, nope, let's reel it in. You don't need all of that. I love that. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but you just you just kind of glossed over the fact that you have a day job, but we have Myra here. Let me see. Hi, Myra. How are you?
Myra. Hello, Myra.
Welcome.
Myra,
Thanks for joining us.
garment maker.
She what?
She's a fabulous garment maker.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Myra, nice to meet you. Now, you just glossed over the fact that you have a day job. So
Because I'm trying to forget about it, Betty.
no. No, no, no. It's huge. It's huge, Catherine. So you have to tell us, what are some of the challenges that you have to maneuver to stay organized as an entrepreneur with a day job.
Okay. So luckily, once again, I'm a project manager, so I'm very good at making lists and setting tasks, right? Getting them done by.
Okay.
But even with all of that, nobody prepares you for the demands of starting a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things that I can't do myself and trying to figure out how to do it. And so one of the challenges I have is sleep. How do I, for my own health, get enough sleep, right? Because you're up longer than you mean to be when you go to work, come
Mm-hmm.
home, and then you start the second shift.
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody tells you about the lack of sleep. And I can only imagine somebody doing this and having kids, right? Having children,
Yes.
right? And so that's hard. The other thing is how to scale a business in a way that is manageable based on your lifestyle, right? So you can scale, everybody says, oh, scale this business. But in order to do that, you then have to let go of some of your business. So that's a
Yes.
challenge for me, right? To hand over a piece of my business to somebody and hope. that they will nurture it in the way that I nurture my business, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, as a controlling person, that's a challenge for me. That's seriously a challenge for me. Um, I do I will talk about my business later, but when I started this, I started it a certain way for a certain reason, but now it's very hard to let it go. The other thing is time away from my business. Once again, letting it go. How does my business churn in such a way that even when I step away from it on vacation, my daughter's graduation, for example, life events that may happen, how can I keep my business churning
Mm-hmm.
and, and being prosperous, productive, and all of that good stuff? Um, and it's definitely a time management thing. You have to be able to manage your time very, very well. And it's almost like it's down to the minute of what you
Ah,
do.
yes, yes, I agree. It is almost down to the minute in terms of time management. And what do they say? If it's not on the calendar, it's not it's not happening. And so, that's that is huge, huge, huge time management. And that goes with like phone calls and all kinds of things. Now, you also have, in addition to your your day job and your business, and you have not only that, but you have a YouTube channel and Instagram. So, how does just talk to us about your subscription box, because Sew Your Bag is a subscription box that contains everything you need to make a bag while building your bag making skills. This is for the people who are your novice bag makers. So,
Right.
and that is so amazingly unique to me. I don't know if anybody else is doing that, but talk more about how it actually works.
So, um, it was a monthly subscription, and I
Okay.
moved it at the beginning of this year to bi-monthly. And once again, because I said time, right? I'm only one person
Mm-hmm.
at a time. So the way it works is you sign up either for monthly or bi-monthly. Every single month you get it, and you're charged at a high rate. You can sign up for 3 months worth, so it's
Mm-hmm.
every other month for 3 months, or 6 months, so you'll get 6 boxes a year. And then what happens is
Is
I
that
design.
spread out, or do you get them all at one time?
No, no, you get them. It's spread out. So, for example,
Okay.
a March box just went out.
Okay.
So April they don't get a box, and then
Mm-hmm.
May they'll get another box.
Ah, got you.
Right. So it's 3 months really means it's spread over 6 months, right? Because you get it every
Mm-hmm.
other month, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And what happens with that box is I design a pattern for the person or for the subscribers, and the pattern is meant to build their skills. So I don't know if you can see over here. There's like a blue.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was my very first pattern, which came out in 2021.
Oh, that's
And it was a
beautiful.
simple tote. It was just a simple tote. But I used something other than just material. So there's foam in there. And I explained about we created a tie, constructing things without hardware. So it's a very simple tote, but it does have a structure.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there we progress. So the one next to it is it has a zipper. So it's a crossbody. The red one is a crossbody bag.
Oh,
And
nice.
that has hardware. So now I'm building their skills. So when I say that I give you everything
Mm-hmm.
in the box, you get all the hardware, the zippers. If there's rivets, I've given people the actual thing to install the rivets with. So the
Mm-hmm.
punch and the setter.
Oh,
So I
that's great.
so it's whatever you need to make it. I will put it into the
Wow.
um and so you're building a little bit of your tooling as well
Mm-hmm.
without actually just giving you a tool and saying, here, use this. I'm explaining it because on my YouTube channel we do a 3-day sew along. So
Okay.
we construct the exterior, and then we construct the lining, and we put everything together on the last day, because we talked about how everybody learns differently, right? So some people do
Yes.
the pattern, and some people do the pattern before the YouTube video, but it's a sew along. So it's actually live. I'm doing it with you.
It's a
So it's not
sew along. Ah.
it's a sew along. A live sew along. So I do everything with you, and you can ask questions. And we talk about lots of things sometimes that have nothing to do with the bag that we're making.
Well, that's
So,
how we do. That's
so believe it or not, everything fits in this box. There's
oh,
none of
nice.
right. And at the end of the day, you'll get like a brochure in there as well. So this is the most recent brochure, and
Okay.
I explain in here like everything that's in the box. So I tell you, it's hard to see, but I tell you like what the hardware is. I
Mhm.
also, because it's important to me that people know about my culture, right?
Mhm.
And know
Mhm.
about people of color, African American people of color. I usually put some kind of thing in there. So one month it was called the Sahara, and so the material looked like an aerial view of landscape. And when I did that box, I explained about the Sahara Desert, the people who live there, the types of animals there are. So I try to explain a little bit about Africa. I even named the bags using either Swahili or some other language or
Mhm.
a dialect from there. So this one was called the Simbaro, which means purple. And that,
Ah,
and I tell them what it
nice.
means, and that's because the bag was purple. All the hardware was purple, and you could get all the hardware, the webbing that comes in here. You get the fabric, you get the foam, you get the zipper, and we go
Oh,
through every
nice.
bag. So it's a crossbody bag. It's a smaller bag, and it all the bags are fully lined. There's a zipper closure. The zipper all fully lined, and all of them, and I don't make the bag for you, but all of this comes in that box.
Wow.
Yep.
I love it. I love
You
it.
don't have to run to the store. I give you every, and I even give you a snack. You even get a snack in every box.
What? My kind of girl. I love that.
So
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah, I don't think anybody has done this consistently the way that I have done it over the last almost, it'll be 2 years in July. July 1st was my first box. And it's been a very interesting journey. um I have seen my business grow, my offerings
Mhm.
grow, um and so therefore I had to create more space, which is why we moved to bi-monthly, and also give people enough time to consume what is in the box. So every
Mhm.
single month, I was like, oh, I didn't make that bag yet. I didn't make that. Life happened. So I moved to bi-monthly. I listened to my customers, and that's where we are. So this is the next sew along we'll do next week.
So Myra says Catherine is very thorough.
Too much going on upstairs, Myra. I feel like I'm doing this, like I'm juggling balls.
Well, you know what? That is amazing, and it's wonderful because, first of all, Myra is blowing your horn for you, and which is absolutely fabulous. So anybody else who's listening on the replay, know that this is not just a one-off thing. That this is consistent, and she is always on task and always on point, and it is a fabulous bag. I love it. I love it. Extremely thorough. I've never, I mean, this is so unique, as I said before, because I don't know of anybody else that's doing anything like this. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love it.
Well, it's like for me, I whether I sell to one person or I sell to 5 million people, for me it was about, like I said, living, creating a legacy, doing something
Mm-hmm.
that somebody can say, "Oh, I learned this from this person," and then hopefully they'll pass that down. That's how quilting survives. That's how garment. Before there were machines, there were people, right? There were
Right.
people, right? That's how garment makers and garment designers, pattern makers have survived. It's because
Mm-hmm.
even though something is mass produced, there had to be a pattern for it, right? And there wasn't,
Right.
right? So, and if the lights go out, guess what? The machines initially didn't run on electricity.
That's right. That's
so,
right.
so that to me is about what this whole journey has been for me. And I've learned so much about um, this. I want to call it the second phase or the next 50 years of my life, and seeing for myself and proving to myself that
Mm-hmm.
regardless of the age, we all have something to offer.
We all have something to offer.
Yeah.
That's exactly correct. That is exactly correct. And you know, and I appreciate you for so lovingly sharing your gift, because it's it's I'm trying to think of another word for unique, but it's just so generous of you to, you know, because there are people out there who have businesses and want to say, okay, well, you have this, but it's at this price, and you have this, and you have to, you know, you have to pay for this. And you know, and so what you're doing is you're providing everything that is needed for someone to move their desire and their you know, their inquisitiveness forward, you know, because you have everything there. It's like you have the coloring book, the crayons, the, you know, the markers, the pencils. You have,
The landscape. I
yeah,
know that's me.
but I love it. I absolutely love it. Do you have any other bags that you can show?
Oh my goodness, I do, but I didn't pull anything out. Actually, I'm looking around, but that was really, this bag here was very
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I don't know if you can see it. It's I'll take it down. This one was a very, like I said, it's about skill building.
Mm-hmm.
So this bag, and I stuck something in it so it'll sit up. But this was a briefcase style bag. So whereas this,
Ah.
it has a handle, right? So it's, how do I put a handle on it? This is plastic tubing. So it was teaching how to use plastic tubing from Lowe's or Home Depot. Yes. It
Mm-hmm.
was teaching people how you can take that plastic tubing, create a stiffness to it. And if I wanted to, I could even come back in here, and I did not on this one, but you can add hinges and make a strap like a true briefcase. But it was about the
Oh.
style of the bag, right? It was about, here goes a
Ye-
briefcase. It does
Mm-hmm.
fit my laptop. I have a 15-inch laptop, but you can always scale it bigger. This is also something where I taught people how to use this type of lock. And this is a push together lock,
Yes. Yes.
right?
I love
I'll show
that.
you. Versus this one, which is screw together,
Ah.
right? So
Whoa.
so that's what this one was about. So it wasn't, and it has like a top zip closure. Once again, you got the zipper. I taught the accordion, this type of pocket, right? This pleated pocket was also a new thing that we had never done before. So I think I
Oh.
did like 17 patterns, but each one is about learning something. And guess what? All of these things are transferable. So you
Yeah.
can take this pocket, what you learned, and put it on a
Mm-hmm.
different bag,
Oh,
right?
nice.
If I like that style,
Yes.
I could put it on this bag if I wanted to.
Ah.
I'm teaching people as well as new skills. I'm teaching them things that are transferable in their bag making.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm also teaching people not to be afraid to try something. It's all fabric, right? You can use it as a dust cloth later. Right?
And
I
you're
don't,
and you're empowering people to create their own and maybe you know, possibly go into their own business. That's amazing. I love that.
and I've had people do that. This little pouch over here is something I can show you as well. Um, excuse my dog, but
No worries.
this pouch was done as a, it was included in like a bag, like a goodie bag. I went to for hashtag it's BHM, Black History Month pattern designers, and so I designed this little
Oh.
pouch, and I gave them a kit for this pouch. So it had the zipper, the fabric, and everything, and it was just in case somebody maybe never sewed before.
Oh, that is
So
so cute.
and so
That
you
is
start
so
small and you grow big.
cute.
You know, you grow,
Yes.
and it wasn't
Yes.
an investment, right? It was free, and you said, "Let me try this," and they learned how to make a zipper. They learned how to install a zipper, how to
Mm.
curve the zipper over here. They learned how to add accent pieces. It was one piece, so it was just like so many things. And I did a video for that as well, because this was for that event. It is
Mm-hmm.
exclusive. So it's not on my YouTube channel.
Ah,
I
oh,
do have
all
kids
right.
available if anybody wants them. I have extra kids. But that was just a way to introduce people. It's like a gateway,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a gateway. And then
Yeah,
you start out with a pouch and you go from there. Pouch, tote, and then you grow your skills, right?
that is so beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. So now, you mentioned fabric. Talk to me about the fabric. Where,
Yeah.
go
So
ahead.
there's a lot of fabrics out there that I call mainstream fabrics, right? So you go to a quilt store and you'll see them. You go to Joann's and you'll see them. My goal
Mm-hmm.
with my box, once again, when I said I want to introduce people to African culture, get them to know a little bit more in a way that it's not like in your face, but it's about being receptive, right? So it's
Right,
gradually learning. So all of my fabric is Ankara or Ankara inspired fabric. So the fabrics that I include in my box, and you get, by the way, you get this fabric every month. You get different fabric,
now
right?
what is Ankara?
So Ankara it's actually started as being Dutch fabric, right? And the Dutch created, but African people
Mm-hmm.
adopted it because it's bold prints. It's big, bold prints, right? So it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
be like something dainty. People are going to see you. They're going to know it. The colors are vibrant, right? So the colors are
Mm-hmm.
very, you'll see like Kente is a very popular one that people have seen when it comes to Ankara fabric, and
Okay.
that they know. But it's these bold prints that really stand out and speak to the culture of the African people, right? But it really originated as the Dutch fabric. You'll see some of it that's batik, meaning that it's like reversible on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, when you turn it over, the back looks same as the front. You're like, okay, which one do I like better? So we try to
Yeah.
figure this out. But so usually it will be that type of fabric. But what I have found, the reason I have done that is because I want to stay true to who I am as a creative,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
Mm-hmm.
also want to support who I am, and I
Yes.
want to introduce people to who I am, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
think the first thing that catches people when they first see a bag, or when I first started, was like, wow, that fabric, I've never seen it before, right? And every month I try to change the colors, I try to change the print or the motif. And so people get more and more interested in giving it a try. And I use it on the outside of a bag, but you can absolutely use it on the inside of a bag as well.
Ah, that I love that. Now, can you also use like solid colors and then have the bowls as accents, or vice versa?
Absolutely. So that's what I did it with this one. Like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
used it on the outside, but I could definitely use it on the inside. The inside is just purple, right?
Ah,
So
okay.
it's not all throughout the bag. The inside,
Right, right, right.
and so yes, you can put it anywhere. I have used it. Something else I can show you. I've used it on wallets.
Oh,
So it makes a statement on the outside. So here goes.
oh, I love that.
But the inside of the wallet, I just use it as accents. You see that?
What?
So it can
Ah,
be, and it is cotton. Excuse me. It's cotton and it's cotton polyester. I use cotton.
that is
Good.
gorgeous.
And here was another one, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yes, you can absolutely mix and match it. Once again, I've used it a little bit more on the inside, but if I wanted to, I could use it all on the inside. I've made it where the outside was
I love
vinyl
it. I love it.
and the inside was Ankara. So
Oh man, that is beautiful.
excuse me. Yeah, so it's making a statement. People will see it. People will ask you about it, and so you can have an opportunity to share what you've learned as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And empowering women to make their own bags, and just to have a bag and say, rocking a bag and be like, oh, I made this.
And
I
people actually,
love
it's
it.
actually bespoke for the most part, except like if you get the box, other people have gotten it, but we live all over the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is I've had people who've used the pattern and used their own material and made the same bag, and every bag looks different, right?
Oh
And you walk down
wow.
the street and somebody's like, where'd you get that bag? And you're like, I made it. But not only did you make it, right? You stood out because it was so unique. And
Yes,
you got that out.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
The other thing I do within this box is look at women-owned businesses and how I can support them.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me. So this
Mm-hmm.
month, that month, I had three women-owned businesses who provided things for my box. So they didn't provide them for free. I paid for them, right? I got a
Mm-hmm.
wholesale price, and I paid for them. But I also, in the back of every book, is I give them a shout out.
Oh,
So it's about
nice.
women supporting women, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We
And
need
so in
we
the
need
back,
more of that.
yeah, in the back, you see that women supporting women?
Hold on. Ah, yes.
And then I also put their
Yes.
QR codes in there,
Oh,
right?
that's beautiful. I
So
love that.
it's about and I, if I use their product, I put, what the product is, I put where people can go to buy more, see more, if there's other finishes. So I'm all about empowering women and supporting
Mhm.
women. I could not have done this business or anything I've done in life without women. I had a single parent household. And I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't have done it. I could not, my mother couldn't have raised us without my grandmother, right? And so for that, for that reason,
Mm-hmm.
I am so about women supporting women and helping them in any way they can.
That
And there
is
are men bag makers, by the way. So let's not knock it. There are men out there who make bags.
really. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, because they're in all facets of design. That's true.
Yeah.
That is
So
very true.
they're out there. And something I wanted to mention as well is this necklace on Cara
Oh,
fabric. So it's used in so many different ways that you can use it. And I have
did
a
you
video
make
for this.
that?
Yes, I made this. It actually goes with a bag. I have a video for it on YouTube, but you can see that you can take scraps. I could have strung my straps together and made a necklace, but it's totally wearable and usable. And I think that it's underrated, and I'm trying to get the word out there for people. Use it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so unique. I love it. You are so creative. You are so crafty. I love it. I can't.
Now let me get back to my knitting.
This is no. You you're doing fine with the bag making. Oh my goodness, I love it. This is amazing, Catherine. And it's so wonderful. Let me just say this to anyone out there. Check out Catherine's YouTube channel and her Instagram and reach out to her if this is something that you want to do, even if it's a hobby, even if it's just for a hobby. Catherine is doing this. She is giving this. She is giving her craft, her skills away. Well, not giving them away, but she's giving more and more away than you would normally get. You'd have to take a class for something like this, and she's offering her skills and her talents and to you through her bag making business, and just empowering women to not only be creative for themselves, but also if this is something that you may want to do off on the side, quote unquote. You have everything. She's giving you everything that you could possibly need in order to make it happen. So I am just, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing that you're doing this, Catherine. And I am just so happy that we met, and that you were so generous in your sharing of not only your business sense, but also how you are moving forward as a bag maker and as a business owner. Not only as a business owner, but a business owner who is postmenopausal. So ladies, if you get nothing else from this, is that menopause is not the end of your life. It is absolutely a new awakening. It is absolutely a new awakening. So there you have it. Catherine doing the do. Doing the doing menopause, post menopause. So talk to us about your new awakening.
So for me, I think my takeaway is that I felt that once I hit, 50, 55, even 60, I'm hitting 60. And I just thought that I'd be over the hill, right? I thought I'd be on the decline of my life. I'd be taking it easy. And then all of a sudden I said, no, I got to the top of the hill and I could see what was in the valley and I wasn't quite ready. So I did one of these. It's a fork in the road.
Yes.
I took some time and I just recentered myself, refocused myself, and I decided, like you said, it's not over. We
It's
have
not
so much
over.
more in us to give, and especially as women, because we are nurturers, and
Yes.
so much to give to our community, our churches, our schools. I used to volunteer in the schools. It's just a fork in the
Me
road.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Menopause is a fork in the road, and
it
don't feel
is.
it's not over till it's over.
It's not over till it's over. I love that. And wait a minute, Myra, what is going on? She said, I've got one, but I haven't made it yet. They are adorable. Girl, you better get on it. We put you on blast, Myra. You got to get it done. You got to get it done.
Yeah, Myra, we can sew it together.
Oh, man. So, yes. Oh, she's cracking up. We love you, Myra. She says, "I will, sweeties. Okay, okay. We might have to have you on so you can show your bag." But that is so beautiful, though, Katherine, in terms of it being a fork in the road, and that is such a wonderful analogy because you can either stay on the path you're on, or chart a new one, chart a new path and move on and do something absolutely completely different. I mean, bring out that bucket list, and start doing some things that you may want to, that you may think, oh my gosh, I haven't done that, and it's too late. It's never too late. It's never too late. Wouldn't you agree, Katherine?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's never too late.
It's
And you
never
can do
too.
it. You can do it. You can so do whatever you want to do. Um,
Absolutely. Wait a
and
minute, Yvette. What? The boxes are awesome.
it's Barrett.
Hey, Yvette. Yay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Myra is agreeing with us. She's agreeing with us. Yes, absolutely. It is. It's a fork in the road, and we can do whatever we want to do. It is never too late. As long as we are still above ground, it is never too late. So, and I'm a witness here. I'm proof, because I've started this business in my 60s, and so this is it. It's well, actually, I've changed the trajectory of my life in my 60s, and so it's never too late to try something new. As in addition, it keeps you young. It keeps you young. It keeps you vibrant, and that's what we're all about here at Crazy Sexy Menopause. How to live life more vibrantly, how to maneuver the crazy unpredictability of menopause, and embracing the sexy abilities that we have, the creativity, the assertiveness that is us. And so I am just I'm happy to have had this conversation with you today. And Yvette is saying, and Katherine shows you step by step. Look at there. That is another person who has co-signed for you, honey. If you all are watching, y'all better jump on this, because Katherine is the master, the mistress, the mistress of bag making. So
Well,
Oh,
all
this
you
is
need is a can-do attitude, and it doesn't have to be bag making. You just say, "I can do it," and you will do it.
absolutely, absolutely. That is absolutely correct. Having a can do attitude. Well, Catherine, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. I absolutely appreciate you and the gift you are to the world. So, if someone is watching and would like to connect with you or get in contact with you in some way, shape, or another regarding your work, how would they do so?
So I'm on Instagram at Sew
Okay.
Your Bag. It's all one word. Sew is in a sewing machine. Your bag.
Mm-hmm.
You can DM me if you have a sewing question. I'm always happy to answer those. You can also find me. I have a shop, sewyourbag.com. So if you just remember Sew Your Bag, you'll find me. I'm on YouTube as Sew Your Bag. And also, something I didn't mention is if you purchase a pattern, any pattern, you also can come into the private Facebook group where there are other people like Yvette in there who's always willing to answer questions and help you out. And if you need some inspiration as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. And Yvette says, yes, it is never too late. And I'm talking about 67 years young and sassy. All right now. What? I know
Love
that's
that.
right. I know that's right. And so, if you missed that, we will have all of Catherine's information in the description below. So, if you're watching this on replay, or you missed it somehow, shape or form, we will have it for you in the replay. So, thank you so very much, Catherine. This has been amazing. Absolutely
I
amazing.
just want to say thank you so much, Betty, for having me on. And I had so much fun, and you made this very easy for me. So I don't feel as stressed as I did in the beginning, and I appreciate you as well.
Thank you so much. Oh, you've been a blessing. You've been a blessing. And I know that this friendship is going to last for many years to come. Many years to come. This has been amazing, as are you. So, everyone, let me just say that thank you for joining me today, whether you are live or whether you are watching this on replay. If you like this interview and want to see more of the content like this, or if there's a topic you want more information on, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already done so, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and click the notifications bell so you won't miss me. This has been a blast. See you soon. And always remember, it's your life.